As what dinner was happening, this is Talk Entertainment and Art, and welcome to another episode. I'm myself, Albert Millin. I'm your host for this podcast you're tuning into. And of course, we are into season 7, and we're still going on and on and on. We're not planning on stopping on anytime soon. If this is your first time on the channel, I'd like to welcome you with hope that you're going to subscribe, and you're also going to like this video as it helps with the algorithm of YouTube. And on today's episode, I have Mkay, who is widely invested into the entertainment industry in our kingdom. This man has managed to back the Bushfire Residency. He's done animation graphics for main stages at Hipnotik, right? Dojo and Bushfire Firefly. And he's also the co-founder of Decklife Studios, who are the ones involved in hosting Pop Sunday, which is, by the way, one of my favorite local events. How you feeling, bro?
I'm all right, thank you very much.
What you think of that intro, man? I still wanted to go through, but
yeah,
I'm like, nah.
Yeah, no.
Let me keep it low key.
You wanna pull in another 16, eh? All right. No, it's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here, man. I've been talking to the team about having you. We're supposed to have you on season 6.
No, we are the season 7.
Yeah, now we're at season 7.
No, you guys should keep pushing. It's good content. We all need good content out there.
Yeah. It's only a step, man. We're still trying to grow the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. With these digital spaces, you gotta keep applying pressure. You gotta keep doing it. Consistency is key. Looking forward to seeing myself on TV for the first time. I haven't been on any of these podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is your first time?
It is actually my first time on a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Other than maybe something that I've tried to record myself on. It is my first time on a podcast out here.
Well, man, this is gonna be a very good one.
Yeah. Shout out. So what you got for me, man? What you got for me?
Man, I want to talk about. I'm reading your EPK. I'm like, whoa, you've been a DJ since 2012, if not mistaken.
Yes, maybe a little bit for longer than that, because I believe my journey kind of started out around 2007. But even before that, crazy enough, most of us DJs have the same childhood story. Like there used to be virtual DJ, and we played around with it, and then we figured things out, and that's how my passion grew. If you read most DJ EPKs, they all speak to having discovered virtual DJ. Yeah, and my journey was similar as well. My uncle installed virtual DJ on a computer that was at home.
Yeah,
and on that computer, I used to play a couple of things: Need for Speed 2, MK4, Mortal Kombat 4, and virtual DJ. Back then it was actually Atomix MP3. And then it was just something that I used to do. Later on, I found Tractor as well. Played around with it. And then in high school, that's when I guess really like the DJ part came out. One day I used to hang out in the computer lab a lot. And this one day it was entertainment night, and for some reason the guys didn't have music to play on the school DVD system, and they came up to the computer lab and like, "Yo, dude, got something for us." And that week I was playing around with this software called Nero. And on Nero you could edit videos, and we were basically recording the mix on virtual DJ, and then going over to Nero and then downloading all the videos for all those songs and layering them up and ending up making a video mix of some sort.
Oh,
like you see on Trace and whatnot.
Like I see on Trace. Yeah. Funny enough, the Visual DJ 8 Pro does that now.
Yeah. It's got the video module built into it. Wow. Yeah. So luckily, when these guys came to the computer lab looking for music, I was like, oh, I got something for you. Let me burn this CD for you.
Yeah.
So I quickly burned the CD, and they went, and that's how I think that was my first audience. As a DJ, I have something that I prepared, and people enjoyed it, and they kept asking for more.
Yeah,
and that's how the passion, it became something that I liked doing, because it made me, feel like a part of the community.
Okay. Yeah. So when all of this started, you were still living in Kenya?
Yes, I was in Kenya. I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was something. yeah, it was actually something that I think I didn't think I at that time I didn't think it was gonna be anything that I was maybe gonna do maybe professionally and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was just something that I liked. I liked tweaking, playing around with tech, playing
Yeah.
around with electronics and all that, and it was just something that was an escape from everything. Man, if you open my desk in school, you open my desk like this, it's got speakers, it's got lights, LED lights, and all that. It's a crazy area. So music was one way I could get into something that wouldn't get me into trouble. And then I think after high school, I got an opportunity to come for school here in South Africa. And when I came here, I fell in love with house music.
Oh, yeah?
Funny story. Because before then, the only music that I used to like mess with was dancehall. You know, East Africa, there's a huge dancehall culture.
Yeah.
And hip hop music as well. So those were the two genres that I really knew. I actually didn't know house music until I got here. And I played at the school social. That's the first time I met Tendaness.
Oh, yeah?
And it was my first time also seeing he had this really nice controller. It was my first time seeing such a small DJ controller, and it was so nice. And I remember being so obsessed with that thing. And he let me use it that one night. And we played, and you know, it was an awkward reception for me because I was playing a style that wasn't entirely heard of in that setting. But also I got something out of it. I got to see people enjoy house music, and I got to hear this new sound, which was house music. And ever since then, I think my my taste of music has broadened ever since that moment. Yeah, it's grown so much now. I know so many styles of music, so many genres of music. It's impossible to actually even compress anything into a 1 hour set these days. I hate taking 1 hour sets because like there's very little time to play. Yeah.
Was there a point in time where you wanted to play house music and switch to?
Even now, I play house music a lot. Actually, my ultimate set contains house music in it. And how I like to look at house, it's like, you know, there's so many different types of house. It's not just deep house, it's not just electro house. There's definitely sounds out there that when you hear them, they will make you move, regardless of what genre of music that you think. Yeah,
this one's gonna make you move.
Hey, when that beat drop, you're gonna be like, what is that? I want to move. Yeah, so definitely I try to incorporate those gems into my set. It's just that hip hop is easy to go to. And also at the time when I was starting out playing music here, there has been a huge gap for like hip hop DJs and open format DJs.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, so it was easy for me to slide into that. But ultimately, if you give me more time, and it's not like a 1 hour slot, give me more time, I'll play. I'll play a lot of music. Yeah, I'll play reggae, I'll play dancehall, play hip hop, I play moombaton. I love moombaton because it slams. The bass is heavy, and I love bass. Anything that's got bass. If you give me bass house, I'm gonna love it. If you take me to Cape Town right now and put me in like club where they're playing minimal, I'm in there.
What?
Yeah, like I enjoy different sounds at different times. So it's easy to basically enjoy music.
Yeah.
I'm not I feel like I'm not restricted to just, if the DJ is not playing the genre, that one genre that I know, then I'm gonna be sad. I'm not like that.
Since you're so invested in music and you're like broad on each and every sound, have you actually thought about making your own?
Yeah. I've tried making music.
Oh yeah.
I just it's not something that I think if I look at what I've said previously, because I know I said I haven't been on a podcast, but like there has been countless times when I've been asked to like talk about, what my interests and whatnot are, maybe on the newspaper or any other sort of publication. And I've always said that one day I'm gonna make music, and it still stands that one day I'm gonna make music. It's just, I don't know, it's not today yet. I have dabbled. I know the process of making music, but I'm not good at it at the moment.
Oh yeah.
The best I can do, and what I usually do, is I tune and add a punch to whatever music I can find to make it something that I can play. So you can find a nice sound that wouldn't normally work, being that maybe I'm playing at a certain time and this is the vibe at that particular time. Yeah. So I would then probably create a remix of that particular sound to make it playable during that performance or during that set. So I do have a lot of very nice, high energy remixes on my belt that are not public. It's on my library. If you come to my show, you're gonna hear some different stuff.
I've actually heard a few.
Yeah, there's stuff in there that you're not gonna hear anywhere else. And I think that just contributes to what I have to offer when I show up at a venue.
Yo, man, let's talk about your journey, especially 2018.
Yeah,
you managed to bag Bushfire Residency, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, every year I apply. Every year I apply.
Every year you apply.
Every year I apply religiously, and I use every tool available to me to convince to state my case why I should get booked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's events organized by House on Fire. I've played at House on Fire countless times, but events organized by that team, for me, they give me peace. I feel like it's a crew that I can work with.
Oh yeah.
They respect the whole artist thing going on, and I try to learn as much as I can from them. And if you look at pretty much how we operate at our entertainment related businesses, we try to borrow a big leaf from how the House on Fire establishment conducts itself, in regards to respecting artists, in regards to having a schedule and sticking to the schedule. Just tiny details that you will only really notice when you look at our events versus other events that are happening around the country. I mean, we've always said for example, one of our events starts at 11 a.m. And religiously we start at 11 a.m. I mean, people don't understand what it actually takes. We wake up 6:30, we are on the road.
Yeah.
We go to the storeroom, we get the equipment.
We set
up. By 11, we're finishing, we're doing final touches to the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how long it takes us, because the experience of setting up an event, it's something that maybe people don't get to see it. People don't get to see the behind the scenes, because all only arrive after the gates are open. But you don't know how it happened, right?
Yeah.
So for example, we've always said our event is going to start at 11 a.m. and religiously 11 a.m. gates are open, things are happening, sound is on. But a lot of other event organizers have copied that marketing aspect, or that whatever is written on our flyer.
Yeah.
11 a.m. and they've gone ahead and put 11 a.m. on their flyer without
understanding the
process of making the event start at 11 a.m. So you'll see, you can do some homework even after this, or even you can even recall how many events you've seen last year, especially last quarter, that have said they're starting at 11 a.m.
They're not starting at 11 a.m.
They're going to start at 6 p.m.
Why you do that?
Yeah. And I feel so bad for those things happening like that, because unfortunately, our market, the consumer, is not that vigilant about the value that they expect for what they pay for when they go to an event. So it's easy for someone to just grab some marketing material from something that's already happening and put it on their own thing. And at the end of the day, I think that's a scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam. So we need to be vigilant of the scammers.
So how do we get our money back, man?
I don't know. I don't know how we get our money back, but I think it starts by spending wisely.
Fact.
It just starts there. Don't spend like I think let something. I don't know. Again, don't judge a book by its cover and whatnot, but be a little bit more vigilant. Maybe read a couple more pages and try really see if it's really worth it. And I think all I'm trying to say is, like, those guys, they've set a good example.
Yeah.
And everybody else around in our community here, it's either we
follow.
We look at that good example, not necessarily even follow, but learn from it.
Facts.
Yeah. Don't try to reinvent the wheel too much, because there's only so many ways you can do something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, learn from that. Use it wisely to make better of your circumstance. Yeah. So I don't necessarily actually have a residency that is assigned to me. Yeah, I just apply every year.
You apply every year?
Yes.
Damn, man.
Even this year I applied.
So every year you get accepted?
No, I don't. It's not every year, actually. Is it? No, it's my first time to play there was in 2015. 2015. I remember. And the reason I got to play there was because Sibebe Friday night. I don't know if you guys remember that series that was playing at House on Fire.
Sibebe Friday night.
Yeah, there was a series. There was a monthly series that used to happen at House on Fire every like last Friday of the month.
Yeah.
And it used to be some sort of competition. That this edition and the next edition and the next edition, there would be a different act.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know how they did the judging, but at the end of the whole exercise, there would be a winner of some sort. So I ended up getting a slot through that, go to Bushfire, and ever since I have never wanted to not be there.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's the one place where I feel like, yeah, the O's are here, they're enjoying the vibes. I also want to be in that vibe.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
So as somebody who's part of the events management and events organizers, we have this problem in our kingdom where promoters, they release a poster saying, no, we're having, maybe make an example, we have Youngster coming into the country for this show, but then Youngster doesn't come through. Like recently with Solanis, they had booked, I think it was Oskambo, but it never came.
Oskambo came.
Which event was it? But recently there was
sure, there was a no, it wasn't Oskambo though. Oskambo came. I think it was the event before that.
Yeah.
Look, things happen.
Yeah.
From having tried to bring artists here, things happen. There's a time we tried to bring an artist and they took the longest route. You know when you open your GPS and it gives you the shortest route?
Yeah.
And it ended up on the longest route to get to SD.
Yeah.
So they got here after the show. So things happen, bro. Things happen, but I can't speak for what circumstance makes a situation happen the way it must happen or the way it happened.
Yeah.
But it's I would just say, look, if you're gonna try bring someone, make sure you figure out your logistics and make sure you got a solid plan.
So what causes the person not to come through? Is it because he wasn't informed about the booking, or he wasn't paid?
Man, the game is twisted. There's so many reasons why someone cannot pull up. There's so many reasons you can find. Maybe, I don't know. And obviously, what I'm about to say is not related to that particular show because I have no information about that particular show. But you know what? There's so many reasons why an artist can't make it. Maybe when you booked them way too early and you think you're getting the best deal, but then they get a bigger booking than your booking. Unfortunately, my friend,
can't make it.
They can't make it. And there's a couple of shows last year that happened. What else can happen? Yes, rare case like taking the wrong route. Sure. You get to the border, some issues with whatever papers, what. Sure, lots of things can happen. There's so many things that can lead to. During COVID period, it was madness. Get to the border, you need this, you need that. There's lots of stuff that can contribute. It's up to you as event promoters to just make sure that you've covered your bases.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's really the event. At the end of the day, the consumer has one person to look at. It's the promoter. The promoter is the person who's responsible for honoring their promise or whatever they have advertised to. And you saw how those guys did it. I think they did a decent job, refunded everyone.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's a nice way to go about it. But there's other issues. There's other times when there hasn't been proper communication about refunds because maybe, I don't know, the whole event was shoddily organized. But you will find that proper organizations, they all communicate with the people. they'll have a plan B in place. They'll make sure that there's actually no reason to get to plan B in the first place. So it's all about due diligence. You gotta know what you're doing, basically. There's a lot of people who just see things on a fly and they're like, yeah, I can do that. Sure, it's nice that you feel that way. It's the right way to start. But you have to know that there's a lot of work that goes into before that flyer came out. Yeah.
I understand. So let's get into the animation graphics.
Yes.
You've done a couple of those, Luju, Bushfire, Firefly,
yes,
Hipnotik. So what exactly is required in order to be able to do that?
So I think I like tweaking. As I said, I'm not a graphic designer. Right?
I was about to ask you.
I am not a graphic designer. I'm sorry, really. There's a really dope guy I know who's a graphic designer. I've worked with him. He makes some of the best flyers ever. Unicorn and Dickies, and you go.
Shout out Unicorn and Dickies.
Shout out Unicorn. You got your. There's a big gang out there. Nwiki, Zuma. There's a lot of people pushing. Yeah, there's a lot of people pushing nice graphics out here. But me, I'm not a graphic designer. I know how to use Photoshop. I know how to use. And right now, I'm teaching myself After Effects. I haven't I'm just trying to. I'm trying to learn. Yeah. Premiere Pro, I don't like it. Someone said they don't like it, and somehow I felt, I can identify with that. I also don't like it.
You also don't like it?
So I've decided to do all my editing on After Effects. So I'm trying to get into the video game as well, like to learn how to basically edit videos. Yeah. What I do with the animations, it's not editing videos. It's something different. Because it needs to be real time. That, like, the way I envision a screen at an event is for it to be that extra sense that it's part of the experience.
Yeah.
So you see, sound is when you go to an event, right? Sound is the primary thing that you have there. And for me, in my arsenal to make a nice event, I've got nice sound. So if you hire my sound, you're gonna hear it's gonna be pumping. The next thing in my arsenal is lights. I've got to have nice lights. I control them. I can set them on DMX, control them, make them blue, make them red, make them green. I got lights, right? Add some movers, then we're swimming. Then the next element for you to experience an event is to add that other dimension through a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a screen, I feel like if you've gone to a house music event, proper house music, I'm not talking about the house music events that are here, because here there's not really nice house music events. I'm talking about, like, you go to Ultra, for example.
Oh, yeah?
You can see how you now fusing lighting, sound, and visuals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my approach to that, there's different softwares you can use for that. There's Resolume. I use VDMX5.
Yeah.
It's about 400 USD or something like that. But once I got the software, I found it so easy to use. It looks so complicated when you open it, but I found it so easy to use. It's like DJing, and that's why I call it VJing. It's yeah. So I create loops, and I met this dope animation designer. Her name is Inka.
Yeah.
And she does Bushfire main stage.
Oh, yeah.
And she's amazing. Inka is amazing with her graphics. And I think I got a lot of inspiration from just seeing her operate and seeing her operate the machine. She comes with this controller that looks like a DJ controller, but it's to control the
visuals.
The visuals, yeah. And you can do lots of stuff with it, controlling all of that rig that you see in front there.
Whoa.
Including the nameplate at the top and the sides and the one at the back. It's all her job, and she's sitting there. And so I got the gig to do the other side. Because the stage was starting out. I think that stage, when it started, I was the first person to play on it. Because it's the time I got booked for the Sibebe Friday night thing. When that ended, when I got put on Bushfire, I was supposed to play on the main stage. I remember I'd even made flyers that say, main stage, 2 a.m. And then they were like, no, you can't play main stage. You gotta go to this new stage.
Oh, yeah?
And when it started, it was just like a gazebo with that's literally how it started. It started in this place where there's I don't know if you went to Uncle Alpha's show, but like where it was that around area, that's where it was called the Red Bull stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got there. I played and I had a good time. But then the next year we were now like tasked with figuring out how we can improve the stage. And that's how I actually got into the team. Shout out Speech, who was like my boss around that area.
Yeah.
And basically we started figuring out, trying to design the stage, trying to figure out, how much sound equipment we need, where we need to position it, obviously with the guidance of the jigs and Shoto at House on Fire. And we really, got into the groove of trying to make it work. And trying to make it work is like when we're ordering the stuff, we're like, okay, yeah, the guy who's bringing the stuff must bring a screen. Why are we getting a screen? Because we want to do visuals. Why are we getting sound? Because we want it to sound nice. Why are we getting lights? Because we want that visual element to the event. And, over the years, we've scaled up to where it is now.
Yeah.
I think last year I didn't get involved because another production company came in with the Ballantines. Ballantines True Music, yeah. So another production company came in and they come with their own crew, their own visual artists, everything. They come with their own crew. Okay. So yeah, last year is the only year that I didn't get involved into basically creating that experience. But yeah, it's been nice. I've learned a lot. I started out by when Hipnotik started. One of the things I commented to Sakila was like, "Yo, can we get a screen?" And I just wanted to do that. I wanted to play with the visuals. I actually was talking about like having cameras and whatnot and then showing on the screen. And in fact, when they brought the screen, it was due to me saying, "Hey, can you bring a screen?" And we started playing with that. I remember, I think the last one was 2015. I'm not wrong. That was the last one where we played with screens. And after that, I never went back to working there because it was just a stress. Stress for nothing.
Do you think Hipnotik has a chance of coming back?
Oh, I don't know about that. I've seen so many. You see false advertising. I've seen so many flyers saying it's coming back. So I'm not sure if those flyers are real or not, or whether the message in those flyers is accurate or not. I think only they can speak into it coming back or not. The drivers of that motion, because they're the ones responsible for it. Me, I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But moving on, you're one of the people who co-founded Decklife Studios, right?
Yes.
Can you just briefly explain what is Decklife exactly?
Oh,
and what mainly does it focus on?
Decklife Studio. When we first opened the shop,
we
wanted to train more DJs in Swaziland. There's a big gap. In terms of there's a big gap in terms of like a versatile DJ, like someone who can really throw down a party. And for me, when I talk about like DJing, I'm not talking about putting on the song. I mean there's it's very easy to do that. It's very easy to play the hot song and everybody's gonna love it.
Yeah.
And it's a twisted area. It's a gray area because that's the essence of it. Give people what they want.
Fact.
But I think there's a big part of me and, largely my crew that we all believe that, a DJ should know how to throw down. Like how a rappers can have like a battle and this is the E-list MC out here. DJs as well. This is the E-list DJ. Why? Because, did you see what he did on the decks? Not, and you can't just do something on text but just by turning on the song, right? You have to do something. You have to be technical. Look, for example, Shimza, he's dope. You hear Shimza, hey, he's dope on there. Right?
He puts the Afro House song and puts the piano a cappella.
Hey, and then he has his party trick. Yeah. So I think essentially it's that. Who's got the most party tricks? And we wanted to teach people those party tricks because there's things that work and things that don't work. And essentially, we think we have a long way to go, and not just in Swaziland, in the Southern African area in terms of DJing. But it's not it's not a bad thing. It's because of the style of music that we play here.
Yeah.
We play house. There's a lot of Southern Africa is known for house music, you see. So the style of playing house music is not really that engaging, okay? Because the BPMs are similar.
Yeah.
By BPM, in case you don't know what that is, beats per minute. That's the speed of the song. Yeah, the BPMs are similar. Yeah, and so it's easy to
even
mix
the sounds.
Yeah, and
even the sounds.
Yeah,
one song sounds like another song.
Yeah. So there's that, and it doesn't really challenge you to do a lot on the decks. Whereas I grew up in a East African area where there's a lot of dancehall music, varying BPMs, hip hop music, varying BPMs. Those are the things that people love, and then there's also the local genres. There's gengeton, there's bongo across Tanzania, and these all sound very similar to dancehall music.
Right.
So as a DJ, when you're playing, I remember I had this residency at a club in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I used to play for about 4 to 6 hours every day.
4 to 6 hours.
Yeah,
on the decks.
Yeah. There's two of us in the club. There was 2 residence DJs, and we didn't the club didn't have budget to afford more DJs, but we were also happy to jam because it gave us more time to play with music. That guy, my partner, was very interested in Southern African music, and I just left Swaziland, so it was easy for us to trade and share stuff, share music. He really was enjoying. Back then there was no amapiano, right? Yeah. Every South African song was called kwaito up that side. They just refer to everything South African. Yeah, kwaito. Yeah, play some kwaito. Yeah, so we used to share a lot of music like that. But and within the 6 hours, you're playing multiple genres, multiple BPMs, multiple speeds. So you also have to know how to start it up, how to go down, how to come back up. Yeah. And that really challenges you. It really, really absolutely challenges you. In case I ever get a chance, one of the things that I would love to do in my life is to maybe get on like a Red Bull 3 Style Championship. Yeah. This is like the biggest DJ competition in the world. Yeah. There's currently 2 of them. There's DMC, World DMC, and then there's Red Bull 3 Style. But Red Bull 3 Style is a format that I love because it gives you, as an act, you get 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, you really have to kick ass. Like you have you have to do a lot. And you have to play multiple genres. You have to go multiple cultures because it's a world championship. So you're not just catering to a Southern African audience or East African audience or a West African audience. It's all over the world. Yeah, and you got 15 minutes. Yeah. In your free time, just go there on YouTube and check out some of that Red Bull 3 Style. You'll see what I'm talking about. Like that's the essence of true DJing and true like workmanship when it comes to handling the decks.
So you mentioned Gusi, in our kingdom, we don't really have a lot of professionalism towards the DJing thing.
Yeah.
You as being part of Decklife, have you guys actually managed to improve that?
I think so. You started by saying I looked at your EPK, right?
Yeah.
Guy, if I can tell you how many times an artist is gonna hit me up on my IG or on the Decklife page or the other event pages like Pop Sunday page, like I wanna play, I wanna do this, I wanna do that. We have because we don't have honestly we don't have time to have that
chit chat.
Yeah, chit chat.
Yeah, fair.
So if you wanna get booked, the quickest way, if you want to get employed at a company, what do? You send your CV, right?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So we ask people, can you send your EPK? Yeah. Give them an email where to send the EPK. And then the next question usually comes is like, what's an EPK? That I understand asking is not a crime, but you asking the wrong person at this particular time. You're supposed to be trying to find out how that works.
What's an EPK is.
Not from me, Jay. Try find out. Google, spend some time on the internet, and then figure out how you can put that together. So I would say there's a big gap. I believe the seminars that are happening every now and then we have this organization, people say, yeah, the seminar for new artists to come together and whatnot, workshops and whatnot. Yeah, workshops. I believe those workshops should be catered towards not speaking about what's wrong with our industry, but rather towards fixing what's wrong with our industry. So providing opportunities for people to fix those things. Like, for example, MTN and Bushfire once did a EPK workshop. And I went to this EPK workshop. My bio, the one on the website. Yes, I drafted it, and I got assistance from my moms and pops to like write it properly. But there's another guy who's like he's a booking agent across Africa. And he helped me write that EPK the way it's written. And that was an experience. I remember I think Sean was there. The Shepherd brothers were there. And a couple of MTN Spotlight acts were also part of that EPK workshop. And you can look at the work of those guys and how they present themselves online. You can see the value that they gained from that exercise, right? I'm in fact, I want to do another one of those workshops. So if we do a workshop this year, which might be something that we might be looking into, it's going to be geared towards providing opportunities and putting the little things that needs to happen to make this environment bloom into something else, because we're getting penalized for simple things that we can handle. The things that we're missing out on are just very minor details. We don't suck. Like, there's nothing wrong with our craft. It's just presentation, maybe. It's just maybe how it's packaged, all that. So the gap is there. There's something lacking, but it's also within us to push ourselves to that next step.
But the problem is with the workshops, you find that the workshop is being held, but only a few people are going to come to that workshop.
That's okay. Then only the few people that pulled up are going to benefit. You can't take a horse to the river and still force it to drink water. It's unfortunate. You often find, it's like when someone comes to the club and asks us for a remix. Sorry. Can you play this song? And we just played it, but they just arrived.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't play it again because you came late.
You missed out.
Yeah.
But moving on, man. I wanna ask if you guys actually have artists and DJs signed under Decklife, because I've actually noticed there's people who frequently appear on your lineups and everything.
Okay, we don't necessarily have a label. The reason we haven't done labels is because, again, I have seen friends and colleagues in the industry get effed over due to signing to labels. I mean, we can go back and look at how many labels are pulled up. They've duped artists, and I've seen all that happen over the years. I've been in those spaces where people are asking for their money and they're not getting it. I've actually been one of those people who's asking for my money and I'm not getting it. So therefore, I've largely been a very open. My approach is very open. If I like your style, if I think you can rock the party, then I will call you straight directly and I will let you know that there's this opportunity that we can work on and make it work. Obviously, if you are good at what you're doing, it's up to anyone else to convince me why they are better than the person I'm already working with. I don't feel pressured to go out there looking for necessarily looking for something from someone else. It's within, and it's not even in my circle. It's not my circle. Sometimes I can tell you the story of pretty much every DJ that I've booked and how I met them. It's usually a chance. Like, I rock up into a venue. I wasn't even planning on being at that venue or something, and then I hear, oh, who's this playing? And then I'm like, oh, my bro, please, can we exchange numbers? Because then I'm like, when I have an event or I'd like to bring some of what this guy is doing into that space. Maybe people will enjoy it or something. And also, besides public events, sometimes we've got private events. You got a wedding and maybe you got 2-3 weddings in a day. So it's nice to have a team, but not necessarily have to tie them down to a contract and the reason why we haven't tied anyone down in a contract is because we haven't built the value to be able to put it in the contract yet.
Right.
Yeah, there's no, like, sure, I can put an act on a flyer every weekend. I absolutely can do, like, the venues that we can call and put someone on the flyer every weekend are there. But the question is, why are they on the flyer? How much money necessitated them being on that flyer? Right? Is this $500? Because if it's $500, it's a waste of everybody's time.
Honestly,
it is.
It
really is a waste of everybody's time, because that venue is making a gang loot from you pulling up there. One thing I usually ask someone who, when they call me and they're like, hey, can you come play? I was like, okay, how much you gonna pay? And when you tell me $500, I usually tell you a very simple. If you're charging $50, I know very well 20 of my close friends are gonna pull up.
Yeah.
And you won't give me 20 tickets to let them in for free.
Fact.
Right.
You're gonna charge them.
You're gonna charge them. So why are you paying me $500? Yet they're gonna spend money at your venue. Right. So it's a very simple and direct way of saying, like, please, can I get a cut of the whole thing? Let's make it work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's make it work. And I think largely we've led by example.
Fact.
When we've called O's to come play at our stages, we've remunerated them adequately. And we've set the bar in terms of handling that and trying to handle that. Sometimes we're not perfect. We made mistakes here and there, but I would say if I've called someone to come jam, it's because there's a reason for them to come through a jam. Because I also don't want someone to call me for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
I approach it from that angle, and maybe that makes me the best person who should book you. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've seen this trend where guys will look at the lineups that I put out, and they'll go source artists from previous events, and they'll put them together for an event.
Yeah.
But then they actually don't accord these artists the respect that they need. So, for example, why go book all these nice, well-doing artists in terms of, I'm saying well-doing in that they coming up nicely. Book them, and then you say your event is going to start at 11 a.m., right?
Yeah.
And then you put all of them in the afternoon slot, right?
Yeah.
And then your event has not started the whole afternoon. The event starts at 7. It starts in the evening. Yeah. That's when your maybe SA acts come, and then now it's a circus. Everybody wants to play 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Do you see how it's bad, first of all, for that act that they came onto this stage? They've been advertising for our months that they're pulling to play.
Yeah.
But they never got that. They never got closure.
They never.
Yeah. The whole month they've been saying, I'm playing there. Any other promoter that would have wanted to book them couldn't, because you had them on your flyer.
Yeah.
I feel it's disrespectful. And
it is.
Acts need to wake up. Acts need to wake up.
Facts.
Yeah. You don't get anything out of that. And at the end of the day, that promoter will even run you around, give you nothing at the end of the day. So you are on the month, you are there. Yes, you look like you are gigging, but you're on this flyer, your slot, it got passed because the promoter was lousy in terms of setting up and whatnot. Okay, now also because you didn't perform now, he's like, hey, but you didn't perform. You check, you get nothing out of the whole of that experience. So I would urge anyone out there who's trying to get booked by the right venue. It's much more, it's a better value for your brand, for your everything, than being on every flyer every weekend. Yeah.
So can you continue? I want us to, you've said that Kusi Decklife doesn't really have artists, but you have people that you work with.
Yes.
So Decklife is an events manager.
Yes.
You guys do events.
Yes, we do events. We do equipment rentals. We offer services in the inventing space. So, for example, if you want a premium event where you don't want just anyone walking in, we have a ticketing system. It's very secure. We can do accreditation for you. We sell wristbands if you need to get any supplies for your events. Unfortunately, we just haven't been putting that information out there publicly because for whatever reason. But all these services are available. The people who call us, they get the service.
Yeah. I want us to talk about Pop Sunday. What was the whole concept behind Pop Sunday?
Okay. So Pop Sunday is an outdoor music and lifestyle experience.
Yes.
The idea is just to bring people together, as always, with music and anything that we do that's regarding music. It's always about bringing people together.
Yeah.
I had a residency at the Albert Millin at some point, and we used to do Saturdays. I remember when we started out, we were so ambitious. We used to turn on the speakers on the Thursday afternoon, jam music, and then we would skip Friday because the venue is already busy on Friday. Yeah, that's that's one way to look at it. The venue is already busy. We don't need the DJ. We don't need music. Venue is already busy. But yeah, a lot of venues are like that.
Yeah.
By the way, so there's very nice venues that I've gone to and asked them, can I set up an event here? They're like, yeah, which day? Yeah, on Saturday. Yeah, no, Saturday, it's full already. So, well, your guests don't deserve to hear music. Anyways, so we used to play on Saturdays mostly. And we realized then that the venue is closed on Sunday. And I went to the owner and I was like, yo, and set up something on Sunday. He's like, okay, cool, what's the plan? And we came back, chit chat.
The whole concept.
Yeah, we were like, okay, what do we want to do? And we were like, yeah, no, we want to make something. And at first we were like, yeah, let's bring SA acts. Yeah, let's do that. And we're like, yeah, no, but everybody has done that.
I want to talk about that because you guys are actually one of the only events we have in the country.
Yeah.
It doesn't bring any SA acts.
It's not intentional. There's nothing wrong with bringing SA acts. It's just, I think during that residency, I used to turn on the sound. Maybe I would come plug in at around 11:30. That's when I would come connect the sound. And once I connect the sound, maybe I'll start jamming from maybe, let's say 1 p.m. And I would jam from 1 p.m. till around 6 p.m. Again, long set. I'm having the time of my life. It's a Saturday afternoon. I'm mint. This is what I wanted to do at that particular time in my life. I was very happy doing that. I come plug in, jam a long set. Then I think Opis would join me, would come play for a bit. Ellie would come through, jam for a bit. Sean would come through, close the set. We always put Sean as a last act because at that time he was starting out with a piano.
Yeah.
And traditionally in other venues, it's always house,
piano house,
and then 1 hour of hip-hop. You remember Pub and Grill? If you guys ever went to Pub and Grill, it used to be like that. The whole evening, and then around 11:30, there DJ Khalid, and then so we flipped it around, and now it was basically all other types of music, and then I'm a piano at the end, and that was nice. So we thought about how can we bring these people who are already coming to the social Saturdays. Social Saturdays started before Pop Sunday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we've been doing social Saturdays since. It's just that Pop Sunday is a Sunday event. So this is how it used to be. The residency, we used to create a flyer called Social Saturday. Every Saturday was a social Saturday. We would meet up there. It was free entry. You can have fun there. You can jam, and then in the evening you'll get people start dancing on the chairs. Management hated that. But then now we thought, what can we do on a Sunday because the venue is not. It's closed. It's empty. Nothing is happening, and we thought about creating an event that would cater for the whole family, young, old, everybody. And the target market is a worldwide market.
Worldwide market.
We're supposed to give you that. When you're there, you're supposed to be. You feel as if you're talking to people from different parts of the world, and that's really the essence of it. It's an out of this world experience.
Thanks.
And the promise of it, or the premise of it, is like, we're not trying to make it about the music, but it is about the music.
Yeah.
It really is about the music. If it's not for music, then we wouldn't link up.
Thanks.
Yeah. But it really is not about who's playing the music or what kind of music is being played, as long as it's good music.
Oh.
Yeah. There always has to be good music. It's good vibes. So, from selecting who's gonna play, what, allocating them, what time they're gonna play. These are some of the tasks that we really, took in and made sure that we tried to do them right. And I think it paid off, because I can see now that in our community we started to rethink the gig, the big gig in Swaziland. We started to rethink it. We're starting to be like, okay, we can actually have a big gig without importing talent. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. And in fact, if you ask a lot of people what's wrong with Pop Sunday, they will tell you, yeah, they should just bring an SA act, right? But that's not what the package is. We have actually brought SA acts. We now and then, you never know what you're gonna find. It's not like we're lazy. That's why I released the lineup the day before. It's not. It's by design.
I've actually wondered why.
Yeah,
why
because it's not about that.
It's literally not about
that. It's really not. And
about
I love the community and how they've grown to adopt that as like, yo, we're gonna buy our tickets. We don't know who's gonna be there, but we're going there.
I think you guys have one of the best creation in terms of events.
Yeah.
And when you say you guys, you put Amapiano as on the last act. I remember I went to the last Social Saturday you guys had.
Yeah.
OPs was playing around 4 or 5, and he played I think an hour or 2.
Yes.
He played something different.
Yeah.
And then Bay Bash played. Yeah. And it was hip hop, then Amapiano.
Yeah.
And then the event ended.
Yeah. We try to cater for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and we need a lot of events like that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of going to Grove and all I'm hearing is Amapiano, bro.
I've gone to a nice gig that's nicely packed. I mean, last year I went to 2 of them that were like that. They were nicely packed. But the unfortunate thing is, like, even the DJs who are playing, it's like they're fighting for the same numbers, the same songs.
Exactly. And it's like,
bro.
It's like there's not even the competition is no longer there.
It's 3 events last year that were big, and I feel like something could have been done that could have given the event a better outcome in terms of the musical experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is true that sometimes we don't think about what the experience of the client is, the patron, the people who are arriving at the event. We don't think about we think about our own interest in regards to, I'm a house music head.
Yeah.
So, this is who I'm booking, this is who I'm booking, this is who I'm booking.
I think another thing that actually makes the whole event be a Amapiano event is because, let me make an example. If you are friends with me, and you're having an event, you don't want to book the other person. You want to book me.
There's also that other issue that we have where all my friends, right?
Yeah.
They play Amapiano, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, because I have an event, I am gonna book all of them.
Exactly.
Because for some reason, if I don't book someone, maybe they might feel bad. I don't know. I feel like that's such a lame thing to go by, for not chucking someone out of the lineup simply because they don't fit, or the program is boring. Yeah, because if my program is boring, I definitely will remove some people. Sometimes we start with my biggest lineup is 9 people. I never go above 9 people as my biggest lineup. After that, we're wasting each other's time. There's absolutely no gain out of adding any more people onto that lineup. So, these flyers where you find heads rolling from the bottom here, vying like this.
I've seen those lineups.
No, man. It's once again, as an act, it depends maybe on what your values are. But my values basically is I have to get value out of that experience. Like everything there. When I go to play, I want to play for a good enough period of time. I don't want to be on stage for 5 minutes. I don't know. I feel like it's not enough time for me to experience, to share
and to express yourself,
the energy and express myself. Like it's not enough time. So I take the same principle to the program of the day. It's like, look, if we have more than 9 people, we're gonna be stressing ourselves doing 45-minute sets and whatnot, and it's totally unnecessary. It's not worth it. I also, in East Africa, there's a friend of mine who also has a very nice nice event series going on. And I follow this guy. We've actually never met. And he's not actually like my friend, but he's someone that I say, okay, this is a dope DJ. He's got a very nice event. And when they put out the lineup, it's usually like 4-5 people, right? And that event is going to be nice. Those 4-5 people are going to play long sets, go back and forth in different genres of music, engage with the crowd, lots of things. There's lots of things that you can do as an act. So I'm hoping that we get there. And those 4 people are usually not people from outside. It's local people.
I think one of the reasons why we don't have such events whereby one DJ can play for like 2 hours is because now even the DJ on his own, he can't play anything else besides what he knows.
Yeah.
And they don't expose themselves to other genres.
Yeah.
Even if that's not the case, the people who are going to that event don't want to hear anything else because they are used to hearing piano and house and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I hope something is gonna happen, but I think we're in the right direction. Somehow, I'm seeing more and more versatile DJs popping up. I think we can all agree Bay Bash was a good addition to 2022. It's dope. It's a dope act.
He came through. Shut up, Bay Bash.
came through with bangers. I also saw, what's his name? Sean, the other day, everybody was expecting a full piano set. Next thing, my O is playing Afrobeat, my O is playing hip hop.
Yeah.
That kind of versatility is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We're looking for, show off. Like, show me a mix from this genre jamming into the other genre. Impress us.
So guys, here's the trick to get into Pop Sunday. Just be versatile. That's the trick. That's how you're gonna get booked into Pop Sunday.
These are the keys.
that's the key. But moving on, you guys have managed to do a good job in hosting events. I've never went to a Decklife event and I was disappointed.
Thank you.
I'm always happy with the lineup. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Uti, what exactly happened? Because I remember there was a time whereby you guys moved the event to Prince of Wales and then moved it back to Millin again.
This question is very popular, but we just moved because we thought we needed more space.
We needed a bigger crowd.
Yeah, not bigger crowd. We just thought we needed more space. The concept has so many versions.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many versions of this concept. And obviously I can show you the different versions of Pop Sunday that I've seen so far. And after that, I'll maybe let you know something else. You see, at the Millin, we thought the event needed to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And therefore we thought, okay, let's go to Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
It was a scary move. I think it was the first time we were doing the event after the COVID break.
Yeah, after the COVID break.
It was a scary move, but it was also a move that was really, really necessary for us.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from the experience, and I think even the country learned a lot from. And I'll tell you what everybody learned. What everybody learned is that, I can actually go set up an event. That's what everybody learned.
Fact.
Yeah. That's what
Because Prince of Wales, after
that, we opened up stadiums. People started booking stadiums to set up the events. And it's lovely to see that happen. I believe at the bottom, people are inspired by the idea that, these O's could just take this thing, take Prince of Wales, make it this. And we really tried. It was tough at Prince of Wales. It's very expensive running the event at Prince of Wales. I'll tell you guys, if you're thinking of using that venue to do an event without a sponsor or without budget, you're gonna suffer. It's either you're gonna suffer in terms of revenue or the event is gonna suffer because you won't be able to make it work.
Fact.
I know, for example, I can tell you, getting the 3-phase power is not this side. It's the other side of the field. So I have to organize a long cable from this O and this other O to connect wires. At this time, it's, the event is about to start. There's so many challenges that we discovered. And that's what we carry as our experience right now in terms of handling that venue. And the reason why we moved away from it is because it was just a mess.
Okay.
We would see tickets being bought and then no revenue at the end of the event because we're spending all of it on the little things.
Setting up the events.
That place is a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And we did say it was a blank canvas. We really wanted to try out something else other than by the Millin, we used to set up under the Millin shelter, you see.
Yeah, I see
when
that.
we moved to Prince of Wales, we're like, okay, we're here. Cool. Stage is gonna be here. Seating is gonna be here. And seating, we now have to hire seating. It's gonna rain, babane. So here's tents. And you don't just need 2 tents, you need 3 tents, one for the stage also.
One for the stalls.
Hey, there's a bunch of stuff that we learned.
Okay.
But I think also we were very successful at Prince of Wales. If you look at pretty much every other, these are our bragging rights for 2022. If you look at every other event that tried to happen at Prince of Wales, it was a bit of a challenge, and I would attribute that to them not knowing that there's a lot that went into making it happen there. There was a lot of admin that went into making Pop Sunday happen at the Prince of Wales. There's so many details that if you just overlook one, your day is not going to end well. It's going to be a tough day.
Yeah. What has been one of your highlights of 2022?
It really was 2022 highlights. I think the best outcomes of 2022 was just one, seeing new people into the space in terms of like DJs that can challenge a sport and say, yeah, no, I'm here to shut it down. So we saw a couple of guys enter that space, talking about 2 Billion, we're talking about Bay Bash. There's new It's All Black. There's new cats that got into the game. They're like, yo, we're here to fuck shit up. I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss in this channel. And so that was a good plus. It's not a Decklife thing. But it's good for us as it's good for me as a service provider. I know that if I'm doing this event and I'm doing that, there's a day I had like 5 events going on at the same time, and if it wasn't for these people that you see on my flyers now and then, not at the same time, now and then, here, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. But the beauty of it is, at the end of the day, we all go home happy. You coordinate, put this guy, put that guy. So there was good additions into the space. So it was a positive year in that regard. 2023 is gonna be much better because of those additions. Then the other thing I would say is, shout out to the partnership between FNB and Pop Sunday. We managed to do the unthinkable. We managed to, just do something else that created a lot of opportunities, not just for artists, for service providers. There's a lot of there's a big economy that moves around that particular concept. And shout out to all the energies that got poured into making that happen. It was a roller coaster up and down, but definitely positive outcomes out of that. Then there was the House on Fire partnership with Decklife for the Decklife Studio stage at Luju Festival, which was in the amphitheater. I think that was really good for us as well. It was the first time that has happened, and it's the first time that we got into something with our full might like that. We haven't taken our sound system towards Malkans at House on Fire. Our sound system has never been to House on Fire before, but during that weekend, we were in there full force with the Decklife sound system. It was nice just curating that space and being part of that experience. And it gave us as a business, and they also gave us it gave the artists that we worked with around that a big leap forward.
So you guys are also in charge of curating the artist,
for our stage.
Yeah, for you had
we had a stage. The amphitheater stage was Decklife Studio stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dope. So 2023, what are you looking forward to seeing? A lot more new music?
I know there's definitely gonna be good music. I'm hoping there's good music because we need good music to play. But I am looking forward to maybe whatever happened in 2022. The good beats, they must happen twice in 2023. And the bad beats, they must happen minus twice in 2023.
Yeah.
Then everything is gonna balance. It's just I mean, to wish everyone a productive year. Everybody must apply pressure where they can.
But before we wrap it up, can you give me your top 5?
Top 5 what?
DJ.
Top 5 DJs in the world?
In the kingdom.
Why in the kingdom? It's limiting.
I mean, we are in the kingdom after all.
No, but as a DJ, like, you shouldn't, put yourself, I'm the DJ of the kingdom type vibe. You should be out there in the world.
Okay, we usually do this on our podcast just to appreciate each and every creative in the
Absolutely.
kingdom.
Top 5. Now, if I don't mention someone here, they're gonna be on my case.
That's the whole point.
It's tough, man. Okay. If you've been on an event 2022 that I was hosting and you did a good job, shout out. Because literally I tried to close the year by having everybody that I thought was dope on the program. Yeah. We literally actually worked with, if you were to look back at the guys that we brought to our stages last year, it was some of the good DJs in SD.
Fact.
This is no offense to the groupmans. I haven't booked the older generation much, but I think there's a concept that's in the works that will incorporate and have them on board as well. Because old is gold. There's people who've been out there and pushing heavy vibes, and would love to see them make a comeback and just remind us now and then what the good tunes used to be. Because sometimes us new kids will come say, no, I have the old music as well, I can play it. But
it is different when
it's different when the old is played.
When the old nigga played.
Yeah, the new cats we tried last year there was a lot of new cats on our stages, and that was for a reason. The what out there is like there's a lot of new faces in the game. That's how you're seeing so many new events happening. It's because there's new faces in the game. There's also you're seeing a lot of new DJs in the game. So it's tough out there for an event promoter to try and find the right people, but I think we found the right people. Yeah, so that crew of people can trust them to shut down a party.
Fact.
Yeah.
So
in no particular order.
In no particular order.
In no particular order. In no particular
no
order.
problem.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this question because we talked about it off camera.
Yeah.
What do you think we need to improve in our industry so that we can actually have
Okay, first of all, we need more people.
We need more people.
Yeah. Our biggest problem is not that we are not able or our talent is work.
I feel like it's already flooded though. Don't you think it's flooded?
No. Not more people doing the art stuff. More people consuming the art stuff.
Oh, more people consuming the art stuff.
Yes, we don't have enough of a big market. Yeah. A big problem, for example, you see the concept of Pop Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not entirely a fresh new concept, right? It's not like brand new, like there's nothing ever like that has ever happened before, right?
Yeah.
It's happened before. I mean, in essence, if you look at, for example, Luju, Pop Sunday is like a smaller Luju that happens every month, right? The essence of like the fashion, the food and whatnot, right? It's now the challenge comes in when now if you live in Manzini, you start saying, why don't they bring this event to Manzini, right? The distance from Mbabane to Manzini is nothing. It's a tiny. This is the same city in other countries.
Yeah.
The distance between here, Mbabane and Manzini, you haven't left Nairobi. You're still moving around Nairobi, for example. So I've not found an event of the scale of this event that moves around in different venues within that small geographical area. So our biggest problem is like we have very small piece of land. And in that small piece of land, we have very few people.
Right.
Yeah. So there's not enough people consuming the content to then say, this event is going to be packed and the other event is going to be packed and the other event is going to be packed. And the biggest mistake we make as promoters is to then say that because those guys are hosting that event, we are also going to host something that looks exactly like what those guys are doing. Not realizing that would work if
We had a bigger
if
crowd.
that other event was in Cape Town and your event was in Johannesburg, it wouldn't matter because you're catering to a totally different group of people.
Yeah, fair.
But now, once you start doing the same thing, like Solanis is doing this, and then Mkay Lounge is also doing exact same thing within the small short distance, you oversaturate the market with the same thing. And people start also thinking that it's the same thing. And I think that thing applies to a lot of things that are happening.
Yeah.
When you look at producing music, we're comparing ourselves to our next door neighbor, not knowing that the best person to compare yourself to is that international, that top guy, the person who's leading in the world. That's, I believe my chat here is like, if you want to borrow ideas, if you want to borrow inspiration, don't lock yourself to just looking next door for that inspiration. Find time, apply pressure, look for more sources of inspiration that are maybe farther away from your immediate vicinity, because then that gives you the opportunity to bring something fresh here, something that's not here. It gives you that opportunity. It doesn't rob you of the originality of its home-based or it's like made in Eswatini. It just gives you the opportunity to, you are the made in Eswatini. You are the person who's anchoring whatever the product is to this here geographical location. What you get out there and how you get it, trust me, you're not going to be able to copy it exactly the way it is. So you will add your vibe to it. And that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
That's what's going to make the difference. If you're trying to learn, for example, YouTubers, the guys who are making YouTube content, it would be unfortunate if your competition is your immediate neighbor here in Swaziland. Instead of, I don't know, Mkay BHD, right? And saying that guy is producing top content. I want my content to be like that. I believe it's the same. Even for DJing, I don't want to compete with, there's no one here. In fact, I challenge anyone. Let's throw down. There's no one here for me to compete with. I want to compete with someone who's out there.
Fact.
Yeah. Then I believe that makes my game more tough for my immediate here. If they are not doing the same thing, it makes it tough for them to compete. Yeah. Because I am borrowing from something that's not here.
Yeah.
It's coming from out there. Right. It's imported. Right. And I'm taking that and I'm using it to better my craft. It doesn't change that. It doesn't change my craft and make it something that's important. No, it makes that the ingredients, however, have some external factors to them. The ingredients, they are laced with something from India. The ingredients, they have something from, I don't know, Kazakhstan, somewhere. That's where to be.
Thank you, man. This was a very informative episode. And big shout out to you for coming through. And we're looking forward to hearing more of the events and creation and proper creation. And I hope whoever tuned in up until this time, you learned a lot. Because I did, and I have the recipe. If you wanna get put to pop Sunday, call me. But more than anything, I myself, I have Mkay. We out.
Peace.